How's it going, people? Welcome back. In the last video I spent roughly 60 hours in game to set up my power supply by refining crude oil into fuel to get my generators up and running. So now what I have to do is get that fuel over to my generators to get them turned on and working. I came up with a method to send them downwards through the floor and into the machines. Making sure everything lined up straight and was perfectly vertical took a while, but I'm happy with how it looked in the end. I then brought the fuel lines over to get a gist of how they would be connected. I'd like to keep an open path all the way through my base, leaving enough room to play with for future ideas, mainly focusing on transport like trucks and trains. I haven't made any vehicles in this game yet and would love to play around with them later. So this was just my first attempt at getting these pipes connected. I know it doesn't look very good, so I'll make some corrections to it later. I then had to make sure there was enough storage space for excess fuel and polymer resin so that my machines can continuously produce these materials without backing up. Again, this was just a lazy way to set things up for now. Later on, I'll spend a great deal of time in this area so that it looks better and is more efficient. I set up a few switches so that I could manually turn machines on or off if I needed to, and fired up my generators to see how they're going. After making sure everything was connected perfectly, a few machines were not working. I was feeling excited but also hesitant of the problems I would have to fix. One of my fuel lines was not working at all. It was all lined up properly, so I reconnected some pipes and after a few minutes it started to work. I then raced over to my generators and turned on the switch. Again, there were more red lights, indicating that some machines were not working. This sent me into panic mode. I went back to check on the pipes and saw that they were not running at 100% efficiency. My crude oil pipes were also not pumping enough to feed my refineries, which sent me into maintenance mode. I began backtracking and finding problems scattered literally everywhere. Some pipes were not upgraded from MK1 to MK2, some were troubled by gravity and needed pumps, some were just straight up not connected somehow. Like a madman, I ended up replacing pretty much everything. I watched about an hour of guides on how pipes work and how to use valves. Pipes were truly now my most hated form of transport in the game. Even after redoing everything, some machines were still not working. That was mainly because I hadn't created fluid buffers for fuel, so it began to back up, which meant the machine stopped creating it. So I took my focus away from the ground level for now and started working above. I wanted to leave this path clear of pipes, remember, so decided to move them somewhere else. Just above from where they were and along this path I thought would look nice and neat. I turned everything off once again and started working on my fuel. I was planning to add about 100 fluid buffers above my machines to store excess fuel, sending the pipelines on the same level over towards my generators. This looked really good in my opinion, so I followed through with it until it was done. Alright, so to try and fix the way fuel was being distributed equally to my generators, I decided it would work better if it started in the middle. This way the fuel would trickle down into the machines rather than begin at one side only. I drew up this dodgy plan and figured out the maths so that each generator would have a surplus of fuel to burn. I also added a bunch of power storage at the back of the machines in case something went wrong and I needed a few full batteries to power my machines. So after a few good hours of connecting pipes and touching up how it looked, I ended up with this. So yeah, thanks again for watching. In the next video I'll be tidying up everything and moving on to creating plastic, rubber and packaging excess fuel into barrels for future transportation. Hope you're all doing well. Until next time, peace.